Asus VivaWatch BP. I have the Asus VivaWatch BP smartwatch, and it has a blood pressure measurement function. Recently, they stopped turning on. Before that, they worked for about a week, then 24 hours, and lately only 6 hours before needing to be charged. Now I'll show you how they behave with this problem. When I press the power button for 12 seconds, they show no signs of life and do not turn on. Let's try putting them on the charging station and see if they will charge. This is the charging station I have. Let's set it up. As you can see, there are still no signs of life. Usually the battery charging indicator would light up here. With this kind of problem, the first thing you need to check are these gold-plated contacts on the watch and on the charging station. They should be clean. I've already cleaned them using a toothpick. Now the contact here is established. I measured the voltage. There is 5.5 volts here. So we can rule out a malfunction of this charging device. I've already kept the watch in this position for a very long time, but it didn't charge, so I'll have to take it apart and replace the battery, if of course I can find a suitable one. In order to completely take apart and disassemble the watch, you'll need to use a very specific small bit, exactly like this one, which is a specialized star-shaped T5H precision screwdriver. With it, we'll unscrew the back cover of the watch case. Unscrew the 4 screws securing the back cover. And after that, you can remove the cover. Take out the case. Next, unscrew the 2 screws that secure the motherboard to the watch case. Then, to make it easier to remove the battery, unclip this ribbon cable with a flat screwdriver and you can lift the board. Right here is our battery, which needs to be replaced. Carefully disconnect this battery connector with a sharp knife. Here, it's removed. Now you need to peel off. As you can see, the battery is positioned directly underneath the main circuit board. Here, it is probably and most likely firmly attached with a layer of strong double-sided adhesive tape. Because of this, we will need to separate it very slowly and extremely carefully in order to avoid any risk of accidentally breaking or puncturing the outer casing. Carefully detach it. Here's the battery itself. There are no components on the board underneath it, so you won't damage anything. Set this part aside and we'll look for a similar or identical battery. This high-quality Asus replacement battery features a nominal operating voltage of 3.8 volts and can reach a maximum charging limit of up to 4.35 volts for optimal performance. Its capacity is 200 microampere hours. Made in Taiwan, it's a lithium polymer battery. We'll look for a similar replacement. Let's measure the electrical voltage on this specific rechargeable battery. Right now, the voltage is 3.87 volts, which is very low. And this indicates that it is discharged. Now I'm going to try to give it a slight jump start, add a bit of charge bypassing the motherboard, and then we'll look for a new one, because this one has already reached the end of its service life. For the very first attempt at charging, I will use a conventional, high-quality battery charging unit, carefully attach the diagnostic tester probes directly to the device, and attempt to provide a small amount of power to the battery cells. Don't mix up the polarity. The red wire represents the positive terminal, and the black wire denotes the negative terminal. As you can clearly see here, the voltage levels have finally started to appear on the display, and are beginning to stabilize. 3.83 volts, and now it's slowly increasing, but very quickly. I'll charge it up to 4 volts so that it holds 4 volts, and then I'll try to put this battery into the clock to make sure the problem is with the battery and not with other components. At the exact moment when I carefully release the measurement probes from the circuit, the observed voltage reading immediately drops down to a level of exactly 3.96 volts on the digital display. I'll hold it a little longer, and now I'll try to put the battery back into the clock and check how it works. Now let's carefully try to put all of these components back together. Since everything turns on and functions correctly, we will proceed to replace the old battery with a brand new one. In order to properly replace this specific battery, I have purchased a universal replacement battery measuring exactly 25 by 23 by 3 millimeters, which provides 150 microampere hours of capacity. This should ensure the device has plenty of power for a long time to come. It's a little thinner than the original, but that's actually better because it will fit well. The only downside is that there are no connectors on it, so I'll have to resolder either the controller or the connector onto the new battery. First, I'll remove the controller from the old battery. First, we remove the tape. Here's the controller. Which is attached to this battery, and here spot welding is used. That's why I might just resolder the wires from one controller to the other without disconnecting it from the battery, because here spot welding is used and I don't have that equipment. Carefully, so as not to damage anything. We connect the battery protection and now we need to desolder these wires and solder them in place. These are the original ones. Carefully desolder the wires from the old battery. And desolder the wires from the new battery. After that, solder the ribbon cable wires to the new battery. Positive to positive, negative to negative. Don't mix up the polarity. And after that, we put the insulation back in place. Now the battery's ready and we can install it back into the watch. To attach the battery to the board, I used the thinnest double-sided tape. You only need a little bit here, literally. And some Strex. After that, we remove the adhesive layer. Stick the battery in its place on the board. The power connector. Now it started working. We reassemble everything in reverse order. Secure the board in its place. And connect all the connectors. Now everything is in its place, so we put the cover back on and screw it in. After that, the watch works as normal. All that's left is to connect the charger and see how it behaves. Once you connect the charger, you can see that the battery is charging. Let's wait until it's fully charged, and after that, you can use the watch as normal. You have just watched a video on how to replace the battery in Ace's VivoWatch BP smartwatches. Leave your feedback in comments, like the video, and subscribe to our channel. Stay with us. Goodbye, everyone.